What is going on today, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I just wanted to talk about a recent comment that I had gotten on the video I did a while back on my experience in the oil field. So if you want to go check out that, if you don't know what working in the oil field is like in my experience, go check it out. But comment basically said, well, I'm working in the oil field right now and I'm getting $2,000 a week, but that's not enough. I need $3,000. You got any suggestions? And it got me thinking, right? So, doing some basic math, and he didn't specify if it was pre-tax or post-tax that he needed this money, but regardless, doesn't really matter. $3,000 a week is $150,000, over $150,000 a year. I don't know who needs that. And again, this is kind of where we like to blur the lines of what actually is need versus want. Now, could you have gotten yourself into the situation, which is very common? This could be another tragedy of the oil field, where this guy got into the oil field, started making some good money, as $2,000 a week is good money. And then he started buying toys, started getting his lifestyle way up to here when his pay was only up to here. That happens all the time in the oil field. It's kind of a trope at this point where some guy will come working brand new in the oil field, and he'll just immediately, first check he gets, go get a brand new truck. It doesn't matter if that, truck payment is half of his monthly income. That's just kind of the lifestyle that they do. And that's what, most people end up doing when they run into a bunch of money. I've been there. Can't really say much on my part personally, but ultimately doesn't end to a good place, because that lifestyle creep to where you have to constantly work overtime on top of overtime. If you, just my opinion, but if you get to the point in life where you think you actually need $3,000 a week, you've made some terrible financial decisions, across, could be within your marriage, could be within the toys that you bought, with the vehicles that you bought, with the house that you bought. There's plenty of guys who just get into a house immediately that is 40% of their take-home pay, or if not more. It's ridiculous. And that's just kind of how people do things in the oil field. However, if you're smart, especially if you're paying attention and you don't want to end up like those guys who are indebted up to their eyeballs and having to work 70 plus hours a week to keep up with that lifestyle inflation, with that lifestyle creep, then you need to limit your expenses, cut it down to bare bones to where you're just saving all that money. And I've heard of a few people where they ended up, doing a minimalist lifestyle for about 10 years in the oil field, if not less than that. And then they retired. They saved and invested all of that money the entire time, and they were able to retire at that point. They had a financial freedom. Now, I would rather have financial freedom personally, especially if I'm going to make the trade-off of working 70 plus hours a week for 10 plus years, or, even over 5 years, versus having a bunch of toys that still keep me in debt and still keep me to the point where I have to work 70 plus hours a week until I die. When I was in the oil field, I had a coworker who started shortly after I did, hauling natural gas, and he was in his 60s. And he was honest, and he said, yeah, I'm here because I went into debt, high debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a business. And now I have to work to be able to pay that off. And I'm probably gonna have to work until I die. And man, that, shout out to him for being that honest, and being that candid about his situation. But it was really eye-opening to me of, wow, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to have to work. If I get to be to that age where I'm in my 60s and I'm still working, I want it to be because I want to work, not because I have to work. But that's just me, that's not for everybody. Some people would rather have the fun in the moment, have the toys, have the lifestyle, have the big fancy house, and kind of live in that moment. which I would argue still isn't really all that fun because you are having to work that much, especially like 70 plus hours a week. You're not actually able to enjoy really much of anything. It's kind of wake up, go to work, and come home and repeat. Now, again, this is going to be a balance for different people, right? There is going to be that season, as I've said before, where you have to work 70 plus hours a week, whether that's to, you know, pay off debt and kind of get ahead financially and dig yourself out of the hole like I did, you know, whatever the case may be. Somebody has a big medical bill in your family and you need to pay that off. There's going to be those seasons, but to say that you actually need $150,000 a year when none of the areas surrounding any of the oil fields that I'm aware of actually require $150,000 a year to just be able to live and pay basic bills, that says something. And so I'd be curious what you guys think. You know, I'd be curious if you think, you know, it's gotten to that point in this country where you actually need $150,000 a year, whether that's pre or post-tax. But the truth is, as I've made a previous video about, if you cannot make $2,000 a week work, that speaks more to your inability to live below your means. I get it. I was there. You know, I understand. But you need to learn that lesson before you have a big downfall, before you have a major health crisis where you can't work anymore, before you actually get to retirement age and you don't have any money in retirement. Because again, you can make all the money in the world. It doesn't matter how much money you make if you spend it all away, right? It just doesn't matter. As again, you know, the popular show, which I'll say rhymes with Financial Fought It with Caleb Kammer, that show has shown and showcased every single week, time after time, making more money doesn't help. In fact, it generally enables you to spend more money if you have a spending problem. That's the way I was for many, many years. So I can say that for a fact. And that's just the case with most people. But as for me, a big financial goal is to be able to walk away from work when I want to, not because I have to walk away because of some sort of illness or whatever. Being able to walk away and still come into work because I want to, and it's something that I'm just trying to keep myself busy with versus having to be there. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys agree or disagree, you can always put it in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want me to talk about any other specific topics in another video, let me know in the comment section down below as well. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless.